What's it like to be doing this with Brad?
It's just, unbelievable. When we won, I really wanted him to win as well. They work so hard, and I know how much they put into it, and they deserved it, and it's just, it's so exciting to go with him.
We would have been happy if just one of us had achieved their goal and got to go to the Olympics, and for us both to get through kind of the gauntlet of the men's and women's events together, it just kind of feels unbelievable.
And he just, gives me a lot of faith that, what we're doing is worth it. And he, just fully commits to that. And it's helped me, just have that belief that something like this could happen. And I owe a lot of that to him and his work ethic.
Did she look more ripped than you in the curling calendar photo?
She's a beast in the gym. I mean, honestly, like she doesn't take any days off, and she is a beast. So it's so shows.
She was more ripped than you.
Yes, no, she's...
I like the accountability call.
Yes,
we needed to hear that.
Curling now enters the Sports Weekend spotlight.
Well, what a difference a day makes, Paul. And happy Valentine's Day, a beautiful love story between Jocelyn and Brett, no doubt.
Yeah, and we celebrated Valentine's Day here yesterday. As a matter of fact, the chefs at my hotel made me a personal, wasn't the whole group, a chocolate cake decorated with roses. It is a great story for Jocelyn and Brett Gallant because they get married this summer in Prince Edward Island. They handed over their wedding arrangements. Let's just talk about weddings, okay? To a wedding planner because they knew they'd be a little busy with the Olympic Games. That might be an understatement. So it's really nice. And I'm glad I'm the one that asking the hard-hitting questions about who's more ripped. You were thinking it, but I asked it.
always the accountability questions, Colleen. Hi, Gain, curling fans. Like we said, what a difference a day makes. Of course, 2 massive wins by Jennifer Jones. And why don't we talk about that for a second? Didn't she look outstanding?
She did. And it was, I don't want to use the word magical. It kind of reminded me of John Schuster's incredible run when he just started making miracle shots. Because when she made that double takeout in the 5th in her game last night, this morning in Canada or whenever it was, it was magic how it worked out. She thought it was for 2 and it was no, guess what? That little biter, you've got 3. And she was like surprised during the 5th end. And then she makes that long run back in 7 when it looked like they were in trouble again. So she made those, and she made a fantastic draw in 9. So these are the bailing shots we're used to seeing from Jennifer, and that they were there in such a big way is the reason. All of it, look how she's moved up in the standing board. Like she was down here. She's gone all the way to here. The big thing about this win over Great Britain, though, is that if they wind up tied, as you know, that head-to-head battle counts.
Huge. Yep.
And they want that to count because if it comes down to last stone draw, not so much. They're not doing well.
Not great. Just win. I love the whiteboards. Let's take a look at the standings as well, Call, as we get ready for more games.
You get your fancy ones up. I'll be looking at mine.
There we go. As you said, moving on up. And, of course, Canada plays the USA tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. I don't have to tell you how big that game is.
That is a big one. But there were some interesting results in that last round with Sweden beating Switzerland in a real thrilling game.
Right.
And then Japan losing to Korea in what was, that area down there where you see on the edge boards lined up with photographers from Japan and Korea as both countries are just gaga over curling and in love with these two teams who just play with such joy and laughter and precision. They have found that magic threesome.
And didn't they play in the semifinal in Pyeongchang? morning, and that was, I believe, the most watched curling game ever. Tens of millions of people watched that game.
And just a note about those two teams, JD Lindford coaches Japan and has for the last number of years. And of course, Peter Gallant, Brett Gallant's dad, Jocelyn's future father-in-law, just to give you the family tree.
Right.
He is coaching Korea. And so it's a little bit of a Canadian hook on that story too.
No doubt. We have a jam-packed show, so why don't we get right to our experts to tee up tonight's game. Brad Gushue and the boys from Newfoundland and Labrador taking on China. Good evening to all of you. Bruce, is a nation taking a collective breath after yesterday?
Yes, and Devin, I took the afternoon to do some research. I want to say something big here tonight. I saved this for the show, okay?
Yeah.
Here it is. Be sure you're recording this. This is a big one. I've looked at every sport I could through history, and I want to say this. I don't think, and I know age is an uncomfortable thing to discuss in sports, but I don't think there's ever been a 47-year-old in a team sport who can take total personal command of a game, put it on her shoulders, and carry it home like Jennifer Jones. Tom Brady could. He was 44. LeBron James can. He's 37. Diana Taurasi in the NBA can. She's under 40. We're talking here about a 47-year-old mother of two who is putting the team on her shoulders and bringing home two huge games on Valentine's Day. Before the game, she was kind enough to give me a 1-hour phone call. She pulled over to the side of the road, and she came up with this, and I think I've got it right. I wrote it down, and it was scratchy. Aptitude plus attitude determines altitude. Okay? Wow. She's got the aptitude, clearly. Her attitude is off the charts. How high is she going to go? Really cool to think of that. But I just a 47-year-old do this in a team sport ever. Gordie Howe could do it occasionally, but just to consistently be this good at age 47, ridiculous.
I totally. Oh, man, we can just end the show now. So I'm just going to sign off right here. That was brilliant. And you know what? I think it raises the bar. So many people think you're done in sport at 30, 34, whatever. If you just follow Jennifer's altitude, aptitude, and attitude, there are triple A's there. I find it really encouraging, and I hope it motivates young curlers like Joanne to just find a way to keep playing and do what you love. I know it's hard. Mike?
Hi. I thought we were supposed to wear pink today. What was going on? I got the note from Steph, and
well, no.
Well, Joe's got to wear the lucky tank top. That's for sure. I get that. That's fine. But yeah, well, it was a great day. Great day of curling for Team Canada. That was fun. It was great to see all those spectacular shots from Jen. As a skip, I would like to wish her in her next match some free draws for three, some guards, some nice easy shots to score big ends. That would be nice. But she kind of, that was Jennifer Jones of old that we saw, or young. How does that work, Bruce? I don't know, of old or young. But she played great, and she needed to. Her team at times needed some help, and Jen was there at every turn. So it was great to see, and the men too. The men looked handled Italy quite easily. Italy had a couple of chances, but for the most part, they were in control. So we got two teams that are trending the right direction, and it's encouraging. But the work's not done yet.
Joe, I think Call's muted. Call.
When I was going down for the fifth end break, I looked and I said, "Oh wow, there's nothing has really gone on in this game yet." And then along comes that double takeout. But which was your favorite shot of Jennifer's, Joe? Was it the double takeout in 5, the long run back in 7, or the great
the shot that saved the game was her freeze in 7. When they were dead. If Eve makes her freeze first, I don't know what they do. But when she made that freeze, it was okay. 1 at worst, and then she tops it off with the run back through the port to actually score. Now she got unlucky; could have got 2 there. Right. But once she made the freeze, they were good to go. So, but she made a ton of great shots. Don't forget, Eve had a shot for 3 of her own in the third end, missed it. So they got a little help from Eve, But Jen always answered the bell. Whenever she had to make a shot, she made them all. So
Joe,
great news for Canada.
Joe, what's it like to have a skip in the zone as a front end player? To know that skipper is having that look like Jennifer has. What's that like to be?
Honestly, it's such a special feeling, and you just want to kind of not get in the way and just continue to support it. And like it's so cool when you start to see it click, and you just want to continue to add like maybe 0.5% to what they're feeling and make sure that they're staying where they're at. And honestly, my favorite shot of Jennifer Jones's that game was in the first end when she made her second in-turn come around. The first one caught an inner line and came up super light and over curled, but then the second one was like absolutely perfect. I think to me, that's Jennifer Jones right there. Like, okay, tough one on your first, but doesn't go anywhere bad in the mental state. Like, had the exact same shot again and just made it perfect. And like, that's making your last shot as a skip. Who cares if you're 50% in the first end? Like, you're seeing that resilience, you're seeing that, just that intensity, and it's really fun to watch.
Nice. Now we go into this Gushue game. Guys, we've got a jam-packed show, but maybe some quick thoughts as Gushue goes up against China. They're now getting in a position where there's a little bit of breathing room, but can't take the foot off the gas, Bruce.
That's it, Devin. Just keep rolling. I thought Gushue was pretty intense yesterday. He's always serious. I saw the intensity wrapped up yesterday, and I liked what I saw. They seem to be back. They love just talking about technical stuff, and when they're doing that, it seems to add to their comfort, makes them better. So they seemed okay. They are a heavy favorite over China, but Mike knows China. They're pretty fun. We did a couple of their games, kind of the tail end bonus coverage this week, and they can make shots and make you think. So it's not going to be easy, but Gushue's the favorite.
Mike?
Rich, I love that. Yeah, what do you like about China?
Well, they play pretty freely. The lead and especially the lead's a phenomenal player, and the third is used to skip the team, and he's a really good shooter as well. So, but he was never kind of comfortable throwing last rock and the strategy. So they've got a new guy, Ma. I'm going to tell a story during the show about him. He's a really unique character. He's a late addition to the team. But a couple of years ago at the World Cup, this team had wins over Dean, Schuster, should have beat Cooey in the final, beat Matt Dunstone. So they know the game well enough, and they throw more rocks than anyone in the world. I'll tell you that right now. 8 hours a day for the last 2.5 years, every day. Like, they actually that's one of the reasons the skip moved down. He was just didn't have the love for it anymore. So they brought someone else in to call the game, and that kind of got his interest level back up again. So, but they're a good team, but they make the odd strategic error, and they're not as consistent as is Brad Gushue. So Brad's a heavy favorite, but just like Italy, don't take them lightly. They're Brad won't make that mistake. They'll be tough.
Good luck with those hips, I say. But Joe, what about Nick Dean and Sweden first to clinch here for the medal? That's, I guess, no surprise.
No, and they've been playing well, and they're one of the best teams in the world. So I think we'll just see Canada focus on themselves, get yourselves into the playoffs. That's the first goal, and then see where it goes from there.
I'd say they're the best team in the world. But anyhow, world champs.
Right. Well, it's heating up, isn't it? And of course, every game matters. And I know you guys are buckling in. You've got this game. And do you have a break in the middle of the night tonight?
Hey, we have the 1 a.m. draw off. Woo! Pretty excited. We're all pretty excited, not going to lie. So
everybody's excited. And then, of course, they're back on the ice at 7 a.m. against the Russian Olympic Committee. Have a great call, you guys. Great stuff as always.
Thanks, guys.
Enjoy.
Thanks, guys. Always, I love having them on, Paul. They just add so much to the show every time. And you guys, the four of you have been outstanding, let me say.
Well, I think Bruce brings up such a solid point about we sort of take Jennifer Jones for granted at 47 years of age, that she is still performing like this and still able to rise to the occasion in the biggest show and spotlight on the planet. And with her team leaving her in a few jams yesterday, she just delivered big shots over and over again. It's just a moment to be proud for this very, very tough, determined, and at these games, so joyful Canadian athlete.
How about raising their level of play and leading the way? Lead Don McEwen, the best so far in this Olympic tournament, the best shooting percentage. And it was a great day for the McEwens the other day. While Don was on the ice winning with Team Canada, Mike McEwen was on the ice guiding his team to another Brier appearance. And he joins us now. So let's say good evening to Mike. Hi, Mike. Congratulations.
Hi, guys. Thanks very much.
Oh, this is so awesome. How was this another Manitoba championship for you and going back to the Brier?
Well, it never gets old. This was felt actually a lot harder than the first one. You know, there's a lot of young talent that is approaching half my age that is pushing us very hard.
Well, take a page from Jennifer Jones's playbook. What about what you're seeing from Team Canada and your wife, Dawn?
So I've been a bad supporter lately.
Because you've been busy.
You know, and my wife will forgive me. I'm not very good at doing more than a couple of things well at a time. I start doing 3 or 4 things and everything fails. So I have caught up. I've caught a little bit of their game last night, and or I think it was. I'm getting my days mixed up.
Yeah,
we all are.
I really like their chances to win out. I really do like their chances. I think this is classic Jennifer Jones, back to the wall, and I believe that they can win out and get into the playoffs.
Yeah,
Mike,
they had some magic happening too. How important is that for a skip when you see that you're making some of those right? You just see it, you know it, you believe it.
Yeah, it's pretty fun when your skip starts doing that. You know, when they have really good feel and combine that with making some big shots. It's pretty exciting. So. If that's the Jen that we see for the rest of the event, they're going to be very difficult to beat.
Besides Jen making everything, Mike, what else makes this team tick? What should we watch for when they got on a roll? What works when this team's working?
You know, the biggest thing that I've watched over the years is I think the decision making just looks smooth. And that probably comes from a lot of confidence when Jen's playing well. And that's sort of what I look for when their team is rolling fairly well is the, you know, the decisions don't, you know, it doesn't look grindy. It just, you know, that flow is there. And don't get me wrong, even when it is grindy, Jen is one of the best. You know, she's such a difficult person, and her team are difficult to put away. She finds a way to win. The whole team does, and you know, they're going to need that resiliency as well. You know, it might not be all smooth sailing. So I like where they are right now. I think they can really finish strong.
Yeah, difficult in a good way, you mean. Okay, so now that your Manitoba show's over, you're ready to full support on Team Canada. And
I am ready now to have some weird hours. So, yeah, we gutted ourselves to get through this. You know, we had some team adversity, and you know, it was kind of linearly focused to try to get through this week. But really proud of my guys for doing that. And now I can like stay up to all sorts of weird hours, you know, with you guys watching the games, and I'm excited for that.
Wait a minute, don't leave us hanging. What was that weird adversity? What was the adversity? And because maybe it.
So Colin, he has a slide leg injury. He's got some micro tears in that leg, and you know, to be honest, I think it took everything for him to even step on the ice on the weekend. We did lose him for part of the event, but you know, just to see him come through that adversity, and it was something that, you know, we didn't push him to play. He just found a way to do it, and was pretty special to see from him, because that's, just I can't even imagine the amount of pain he was in just to make it through.
Outstanding, Mike. Congratulations. It's not lost on caller eye that it is Valentine's Day, and you and Dawn are obviously apart, but can you maybe share a little bit of a message with what this curling journey and love of the game and love of each other has been like over the years, Mike?
Well, I mean, we owe curling our, everything that we have with our family. I met Dawn when I was 17 at the Ottawa Valley Super Spiel. So we met through curling. Now I was, I needed some maturing before I had to come around. She waited on me. The curling brought us together at 17 years old. Their parents happened to put up our team. They hosted our team at the event. That's how we first met. Who would have known? So tonight our daughter Vienna is my Valentine. So we'll have a nice little dinner, and we'll make sure we send a little video or whatnot to her mom in China.
Awesome. Wonder how many other people met at that Ottawa Super Spiel.
Yeah, maybe you can trace a few couples back.
I'm sure you could. Congrats, Mike, on your win. Can't wait to see you in the Briar.
I'm very excited. It sounds like it's going to be a good event from what I hear. It looks like a lot of interest in it. So our team's very excited, and it looks like we've got a lot to cheer for. We got some really good competition entering in. I'm happy to see Darren Moulding play in front of his son in Lethbridge. That's really exciting. So I think there's going to be a lot of good storylines.
And we can't wait for that. Outstanding. Always good to see you, Mike, and enjoy the Valentines and enjoy the rest of the curling. Thanks for making time.
Sounds good. It's Vienna's favorite pasta, of course, tonight.
Oh, lovely.
Thanks,
I wish
Mike.
I was there. I could use some of that pasta.
Let's keep rolling. Joining you, of course, on the ground. They've been front row seat to all of this, and we always appreciate their great coverage of curling and bringing us all the storylines. Ted Wyman, Greg Strong. I wish I was with both of you. Good morning, and great to see you both. Ready to go. Greg, let's start with you. What do you think? We knew it was going to be tough. It's been tough.
Yeah, good morning. Great to see everyone. Feels like, Saskatoon was yesterday, but here we are. Yeah, initial takeaways. I mean, I think at the end of the day, Curling Canada was really satisfied with the three teams that are in Beijing. And a slow start out of the gate. I mean, Jennifer Jones has shown us why. Not rattled at all. In fact, yesterday, you could just see that laser focus. The high fives had more zip. She was in that zone. And, she wasn't rattled after that third loss. She said the right things, but she was still into it. And boy, oh boy, did she come out with that key 2-win day, and Gushue's rolling. It's interesting. I noticed when Brad first walked out for his initial practice, there was no, gazing at the rings. There was no, this is a huge moment. Like, obviously it is, but he's been there, he's done that, and you can see it in the results. I mean, these teams are locked in and looking really good now.
Love it. Ted, what do you think? Because it felt like this thing was on the verge. It was on the verge. Some thoughts?
Well, first of all, good morning to you all. Devin, we miss you, man. Wish you were here. Glad we have Colleen to, bounce every single one of our curling ideas off of. She's just a little bit above us on the bench, which we love. But yeah, initial thoughts on this, guys. It's been a struggle for Canada overall, I would say. I think Brad Gushue really starting to play well now. Great day for Jennifer Jones yesterday. That's the most positive. The last couple of days have been the most positive it's been since we've been here in terms of the Canadian teams. Obviously the mixed doubles situation didn't start things off very well. And then when you see Jennifer Jones go to 1-3, and especially when you're looking at those standings and saying, with the way it's all bunched up and with them being dead last in last stone draw, plus having lost to a bunch of the teams that are in that playoff mix, they can't afford to get into a tiebreaker situation. So I feel like they're in a must-win situation. They sure did come out and show that they can handle that kind of situation yesterday. And I asked Jennifer Jones about it, and her answer was, I've been in every situation before. I've won championships from the front runner's position, and I've won them from trailing. And all you got to do is just keep on rolling. And, well, they've got it started. They get a day off now. Not sure if that's going to affect their momentum or not. But if they can just keep it rolling, they're in a good position.
I have a hard time remembering Jennifer ever not being in a front running position, but she said it to me too. So I'm going down in my memory bank on, well, I don't know when that was. Greg, let's talk about the rock situation with them taking that electronic surveillance out of the rocks yesterday. Why is that important that WCF moved in and made that move? How big a distraction do you suppose that was for players?
Yeah, we asked a few curlers about it before they made that change, and boy, everyone just saying, it's a massive distraction. And that's the last thing you want, is to have a rock issue when you're in that zone just before making a shot. You have to call out for the umpire. You have to completely reset and redo, your usual pre-shot routine. So by taking the batteries out, there was an issue with the batteries and how they were positioned. They weren't reliable. And so, we talked to Hans, the ice maker, chief ice technician here at the Ice Cube, and he said, "Yeah, we're taking them all out." So it was, a half-hour process. They took the batteries out, kept the handles as they are, and relying on the honor system for hogline violations. But it's more to eliminate the distraction. And Jennifer experienced it. When you see the technical timeout sign go up, it's just something that they wanted to eliminate. By doing this, they can nip it in the bud.
And interesting, once they got the electronic surveillance out of the, I feel like I'm being electronically surveilled. But once they got that out, in that final extra end game, Denmark and Norway, I think he was playing Norway, but the Denmark skip had the shot to win, and his handle came loose, so they had to call a technical timeout on a last shot. I think that was one of the things they were trying to protect against. What if in a gold medal game, last shot, it came down to that? Now, Devin, fun fact about Ted, we have these gizmos, that thing right there on our desks, and it gives you every data point ever. Ted, you are combing that. What stat do you not have now?
I don't know. They're all there. It's really, this is Greg and I were saying it yesterday. It's like, you could not miss out on a stat here, and that's just something that we don't have. Now, let's not point any fingers at Curling Canada for not having this same technology, because this is the Olympics, this is the World Curling Federation, but the data is incredible, and the big screens at the back of the house that we can see from our end are incredible. Like, you can, the overheads are just unbelievable. So this is truly one of the best curling events I've ever covered. It's certainly one of the nicest buildings, if not the nicest building, which is fantastic. So here's the thing, that the data that has really struck me, though, in the last couple of days, and Greg and I talked about this quite a bit yesterday, is where Canada sits in terms of last stone draws. And I'm talking all of Canada. I'm talking John Morris and Rachel Homan. I'm talking Team Jennifer Jones and Team Brad Gushue. They have won hammer 5 times in 21 games. Yikes. I mean, that just makes no sense at all. And Homan and Morris finished 10th out of 10. Jones is currently 10th out of 10, and Gushue is 6th out of 10. And really, the most surprising one there is the Gushue team, because Brad Gushue basically said, we win hammer 5 out of 6 games during the course of the regular year. But they can't seem to find it. Jen Jones especially, that team, they've been way off the button. And it's become such a huge part of this game. And I really do have a gut feeling that with the way, if you look at the standings right now, the way they're bunched up, that those last stone draws are going to come into play. And right now, unless somehow the Jones team can win the last 3 and move up in those standings, they're not going to beat anybody in a multiple team tiebreaker.
That's scary.
Let's hope it doesn't come down to that. No kidding. Sure. Yeah.
Hey, Greg, I'm thinking about us in Edmonton at Worlds when you and I were on the media bench. That's one of the last dominating Canadian performances at an international curling event. And we joked about 6-end specials and the way Gushue just cleaned up the field. I'll maybe some quick thoughts from you, Greg, and then Ted. You guys talked to these international teams, and it seemed like there was an intimidation factor going in to the events, and that was probably good for 2 or 3 wins. That's gone now. I don't get the sense that any of these teams are afraid of Canada anymore.
Yeah, that subject did come up in the mixed zone area a few days ago. And we talked to coaches, talked to players, talked to alternates, talked to everyone. Are they intimidated by a Jennifer Jones, a Brad Gushue, a Skip who've been here before and won gold before? And the answer was no. They feel that they're just like any other team, and we didn't get a real sense that there was this aura over those two skips, that they were obviously they've done so much, but we didn't really sense an intimidation factor. What's interesting though, when I thought back to Edmonton, I remember when Gushue walked out in those Canada colors, and
Right.
Of course we remember the Brier win after that, and or before that, and he finally got over that hump, and he's just so comfortable in the red and white and just so dialed in. Saw the same thing here, pre-event and then in the early going, and just not being phased. And it's amazing what experience and being in that Olympic spotlight and being through the village routine and the shuttle buses and the mix zones and all of that. When you've experienced it, it's just a different level when you get back and you're able to perform again.
Nice.
And Ted, we have a lot of Canadian coaches coaching international teams, and it might not have the impact this year, but from 4 years ago and then 8 years ago, what is the role that Canada's played in the growth of the international teams? Just saying, look, once you get this figured out, your technique is good, your strategy is good, you're the same as them. Does it have an impact, do you think?
I think it does. And I mean, it's pretty interesting to look at the women's field here. 6 of the 10 teams have Canadian coaches, and Canada's not one of them. I mean, Victor is Canadian now, but he's originally from Sweden. So, I mean, it's an interesting thing to see that out there. And I did have some time to talk to a few of the guys. I talked to Peter Gallant. I talked to JD Lind from Team Japan. And I had a long chat with Wayne Middaugh. And obviously, they're just doing what they're just taking the opportunities that are offered to them. These countries look to Canada for I think Canada's leadership in the game overall. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're at the top in terms of winning, because we're obviously not. I mean, the last couple of world championships have proved that, and the fact that it's an absolute dogfight just to get on the podium here also proves that. But in terms of leadership of the game, in terms of where it stands, and the number of people who've spent their entire lives playing curling and being focused on curling and coaching curling, this is the place that you're going to go to get your coach and to get that expertise. And, I talked to Anna Hasselborg about it as well, and she said you just couldn't ask for someone better than Wayne Middaugh, because he's a Hall of Fame curler, and he knows, and he's very cool and calm, and he keeps them level. And, I've been watching that team. They need someone to keep them level right now, because they've been kind of mercurial, I think.
Wow.
Oh, I love that word. I mean, they almost collapsed against Jen Jones down that stretch. Their final 3 ends were not strong. Also, let's not forget Pierre Charette, who's here coaching Switzerland.
Of course, yes.
So nice to see him getting this coaching opportunity too.
Outstanding. I miss you guys, and this has felt a little bit normal to see all of you and to be talking to all
Group
of you.
hug, group hug.
Group hug.
Yeah.
Outstanding stuff as always, guys. Really, really good perspective. And a lot more drama ahead. And I know you're both going to be writing and sharing and bringing us a perspective you always do. So great to see you.
Do an awesome job. Go get some of that
see you guys too.
avocado sea salt ice cream for breakfast here. And
bye, guys.
We'll have one together between the games today, Colleen.
I'm going to sleep between the games.
All right, you do that.
Pod. Yeah, no. Let's have an ice cream after the game, for sure.
Bye, guys. Enjoy the game.
The other thing we could do, Devin, with Ted and Greg and I, we can go into the IBC, and you'll be doing this during the Paralympics. They have a robot who makes you cocktails.
And coffee. Coffee. Lots of coffee. Listen, this is we're getting close to game time. 26 minutes away from First Rocks Canada versus China. Gushue looking to make it 3 wins in a row. But of course, there was unbelievable joy in the streets in Italy after that historic mixed doubles win. And equally wonderful was the commentary on the winning rock. And I'm so excited about this. Let's first of all, look at the scene in Cortina when they won gold. Let's watch that and listen to the commentary, and then we're going to talk to the man behind the mic.
Mario, avete presente le favole? Avete presente le favole? Medaglia d'oro! Grandi! Stupendi!
Oh, that just makes me so happy.
Stupendi! Ciao, Dario. How are you?
I'm really honored to be here with you. Thanks for having me. And ciao, Colin.
Ciao to you as well. We want to come visit you right away. How much of a miracle on ice was this for that mixed doubles team?
Yeah, it's a miracle. First of all, my English is not perfect, but I try to do my best for sure.
So good.
Obviously, in the middle of the round robin in Italy, they start to ask about how many people play curling in Italy. So the federation gave the numbers, and 333 people are, just involved. They got the badge to be in the federation. Compared to Canadian curlers, it's unbelievable. And to be honest, it was the first time for me to do commentary for the mixed doubles, and nobody really knows that two guys like that could be so perfect, so maintain the level, because Stefania made a really mistake during the game for the qualifying for the Pyeongchang, because she touched the stone with the brooms, and she was really touched by that in 2017 against Denmark. But anyway, after that, she started to really think about to be a player in the Olympics. Also, I don't know if you heard about that. She right on the in the school at 14 years old, which was her goals in life, and she said, "I would like to be an Olympian, or in swimming or in curling." She won the gold medal in the National Aquatic Center. So both dreams in once,
It is a miracle. How big a deal now, because Cortina is where the curling is going to be held in 4 more years, that somebody from there is actually has a potential to play in it again.
Yeah, for sure. 2 years ago, I've been in Cortina to do a report, and my thought was, think about the chance that someone from Cortina that day just leave the house and go straight to the it's like a museum, the Pala curling in Cortina, because it's the same venue from the Olympics in 1956. So
wow.
It's like a museum. All building is wooden building. It's really amazing, and I'm sure that when you will be able to come in Cortina, it will be a shock, because it's really different from all the other venues. And so I asked to Stefania 2 years ago, Stefania Constantini, so you could dream something like that, and she said, yeah, it's something really far away. 2 years ago, said, but now it's not so far away, because in Italy they are start to talk about flag bearer. Bring the flag, because Stefania is from Cortina, and so you can imagine nothing better than a girl like that, to bring the flag.
We saw the celebration. We saw the celebration in the streets, and you're behind the mic calling. I mean, look at these scenes in the booth. What was that moment like for you to be calling one of the most important moments here at these Olympics and really for Italy in the Winter Olympics? This was historic. What was that like for you?
Yeah, it was amazing because 4 years ago, from nowhere, I just before to do commentary in the last final, men finals, the story of the American guys, and I call that the last rock in the eighth end. Do you believe in miracles? So now I I thought I can't just translate from that epic, phrase because I can't do. But I thought during the day before the press conference from Australian Open, Daniil Medvedev, because he told about the little guy. He said that the boy inside him is just disappear because he ate the way the public, the in the center court boo him because everybody obviously want to see Nadal win that match. And I thought, the fairy tales, the young usually remember fairy tales. And so I don't know why in that moment, because I didn't prepare, but just the day before I had this thoughts. And then I say, avete presente le favole? Avete presente le favole? And that's it.
And
So
that is as a translation, fairy tale ending.
Yeah. Because this is true. This is true. Then I say,
we kept saying here, this is like Cinderella going to the ball, the performance of Italy, and would the coach turn back into a pumpkin? As a broadcaster, how epic was this moment for you? We know it was a big moment, obviously, for Italian curling, but Devin and I, as broadcasters, are wondering, what was that moment like? Was it the highlight for you so far in your career, or have you done so much soccer or something else?
No. I'm expert about winter sports. I did alpine ski. I did a commentary for the cross country in 2006 in Italy when we won. Against everybody with Christian Zorzi in the last leg. Only him. With 1 minute. Advance in against the other teams. So that one was also really big. But to be honest, I guess it's maybe the best one because I'm famous for some crazy stuff about biathlon because in one day I wait for 20 years before to see and do commentary for a gold medal in World Champs for biathlon in 2019, and we had 2 in the same day. So it was really special. But after that, for sure, that one is this one is amazing for me. Also because I did a commentary with my friend Alessandro Zisa. He played curling. He's really friend of Marcel Roque. He went to do a bike trip after the World Champs in Victoria, if I remember well. So he's from Cortina, and he's one of the teacher from Stefania Constantini. So it was pretty emotional.
Nice. I have to say, I've cycled all over Italy, and so your English is so good. But my favorite Italian words when I was cycling those big mountains after was "Peroni per favore." Did you understand what I said?
Yeah. The beer.
I got that much. Per favore. Please. I said please, didn't I?
Yeah, please. Yeah. You're
Cheers
right.
to you. Cheers.
And listen to this. We can't wait to visit you in 2026. And you don't need to speak Italian or understand it to know the joy, the universal language of celebration and joy. And thank you for bringing such joy to all of us, because what a special moment that was, and it resonated around the world and across Canada. So thank you for bringing the joy we all experience when we watch sport.
Thank you too, and I'm waiting for you. In the next 4 years.
Oh, maybe we'll come sooner than that. Okay, we
Yeah,
should
yeah,
do a pre-show.
Yeah. Could be
we're
perfect.
there. Oh, I think he's invited us, Devin. We're good to go.
Show on the road. Show on the road. Ciao. Thank you, Doug.
Ciao. Thank you very much.
Oh man, that
was
is
so great.
outstanding. Yeah, that is
And
special.
what I loved about that was seeing the broadcasters' joy. We're often taught not to do that, and but yet you're bursting at the scene because you've covered every single moment. You've been living through them, all the ups and downs of a team. So seeing that joy was marvelous.
We got a rock and roll call.
We
I said I don't think we'll keep this show to 30 minutes. We absolutely did not. 45 minutes later, but really, really enjoyed all of it today. We hope you did too. There's the lineup. Canada versus China. Gushue looks to make it 3 in a row. Then if you're awake, you will be call, I think. USA versus Switzerland. That's a big game in the standings. And then, of course, Gushue back on the ice at 7 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 a.m. on the Rock.
Yeah, and as we said, Jennifer Jones has the entire day off. She told me she's going to, come have their half-hour practice, and then she might go watch a little Big Air and see. Big day there too. So unusual to have a day off and a round robin by Canadian standards, but she's got that off today to deal with. But she could choose the rest. Just seeing if I see Gushue out there now, but he will be up practicing.
Do you know? Always we love a uniform color report. Can you see, Cole, what color they're wearing today? She's looking. What do we got?
I can't actually physically see them, but I see Jules Ochar wearing black with red trim.
One more look.
Yes. Okay, that's the big news. It is black. I had to jump super high.
Do we know what color are rocks yet?
The color rocks are going to be red.
Black and red. We love it. What would we do without you? I miss you, Call. Happy Valentine's Day.
I'll go have an avocado sea salt ice cream for you as well. So that means 2 scoops for me.
2 scoops. Outstanding.
I'll take one for the team.
Take one for the team. Happy Valentine's Day, Call, and to everyone out there watching. Lots of love to everyone. And red rocks, black uniforms, rock and roll. Canada versus China. Awesome.
Thanks, Producer Zoph.